Right, so today we're going to carry on playing with aerials outside. We're going to do an 18-foot dipole. Now, there's a comment came on yesterday, will you do better with an 18-foot dipole? Yes, I would, and it was suggested that we did that horizontal. Now, CB radio is vertically polarised. Your aerial on your car is vertical, so your aerial on your house needs to be vertical as well. But what I'm going to do, because it just could be that a better SWR from an 18-foot dipole just could be, if it was horizontal, may work better than what we did last week, getting 4 miles out of a whip shoved on a 6-foot post in the ground with a counterpoise and going through a matcher. It just could work better. And so I want to prove/disprove it. We're going to do two 18-foot dipoles. We're going to make one which is going to be vertical. We're going to make one which is horizontal. We're going to do an on-the-air test, and we're going to switch between the two. And of course the vertical one is going to work better, but will the horizontal one, despite being the wrong polarisation, actually work? Because if we can beat the 4 miles, my friend who's in a dilemma where he's got a witch living next door would report him to everybody to report him to. He could be in a position to make it look like a clothesline. So as long as you put a pair of socks on it from time to time, you may be alright. So Moonraker, other suppliers available, do these centres for making a dipole. So you've got an SO239 to an insulator, and you can put your wire between there. So I've made one. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is the first one. So I put the, when it moves off the lectern, I put the green wire to the earth. I got some surplus black wire because we don't use it in house wiring anymore. So that's solid. I think it's 1mm solid. I've just got half a reel of it, so it has no value to me really. So that's really good. So that's my orientation. So when I do my vertical one, it'll be the green one up, it'll be the black one upwards, the green one downwards. Obviously you want your radiating element upwards when you're doing the vertical one. And if you're doing your horizontal one, you're going to want it in the most advantageous position. That becomes directional if you start doing a horizontal dipole. It's just going to be random because I can't be having convenient things to clamp it to. So what I've done at the other end, it's been cut to an exact length, so it should SWR without any adjustment. What I've done is to put that round and tie wrap it, and then I've tied some nylon thread to it. Now if you're doing this properly for a ham radio aerial, you'd use the dog bone insulator, and you know, it would be done properly, but this is just the lash up to do a demonstration, and let's see if we get more than the 4 miles we did last week. So I've got some cord here from Lidl or Aldi or somewhere cheap. We use this on organ blowers for the control valve. I'd put the camera across over there. Somewhere down there is a control valve. So I'm going to go and connect this up. We're going to want some coax making up, and Bob's your uncle. What I failed to say is I downloaded this from Omni Calculator. I put in 27.8 megs for a dipole. So each dipole leg is 256 centimetres. So that's quite a long way from being 18 foot. So we can remember we're in the UK, so channel 20 is 27.79125. So we've got to call it, I'm only bothered if we can SWR the channel we're wanting to use, which will be channel 31. So if you're in America or in Europe using the EU channels, it'd be 27.205, so it's longer. That's where your 18-foot dipole comes from. I think for the UK it's 16'9" or something. Right, so I've done my horizontal aerial, and at 27.6 we've got 1.7 to 1, and where we want it. It's just over 1.7 to 1. Now this is peaking. Remember, I haven't cut this at all. It's peaking at 26.8. So it's actually spot on CPT channel 1 really. So it could do with some cutting off, but you know what, I'm not going to cut anything off it, because we're going to, just as the textbook says, we're just going to shove it up and we're going to try it that way, because the other one's going to be done exactly the same way. I do it this slapdash way because you can do better. Now I'll just show you where it is. So it's tied to the ladder, propped up against my van. That's the hot end, and the other end goes to the catenary wire, which carries the background music system, the tannoy cable. And if you see that blue bit of rope, that's the end of our dipole. The dipole centre you should see about there. So I think we've got probably got about 7 meters of cable on that. So that's the one we've just done the reading of. I'll show you the next one. So this piece of wood left over from this building work has got some handy nails in it, and you'll see I have just tie wrapped the cable to that wood. So we're going to have it vertical, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to climb up that ladder. I haven't got a ladder long enough to get right up to 19 feet of this building, but what we're going to do is I'm hoping I can reach up enough to get those nails caught in the gutter. So I'm going to go and do that now. Right, so we've got half a house brick there tied to the bottom to a bit of the cord and tie wrapped onto the back of the earthy side of the dipole, and then we go all the way up there. You'll see the centre, the black bit near the top of the ladder, and then we start with my piece of timber which I just managed to hook onto the gutter. And if you remember, there's about 9 inches of wire sticking up. Now it's not sticking up over the roof, it's pretty well broadside into the roof. So that's our vertical one. How's that for a bodge? I'll make up a cable. Right, so the SWR is not quite as good on the vertical one. In fact, I've chopped 3 inches off the bottom, which has helped a little bit. I think we'll get Mr. Chippy to go onto channel 1 and use the lower channels, because both of these are SWRing better at the lower end of the band. This one's peaking at 26.6. Well, of course, we're not there. So if you look at that, it's 1.3. As we come up the band, it's 27.8. It's about 2.1 to 1. So we go down to channel 1, 27.6. It's about 2 to 1. So it's probably even an 18% loss. But you know what? That's how we're setting it. So there's nothing except the thing I could do better. I could go up the ladder, could trim 3 inches off, we'd come back down, I could go up and trim a bit more off, go backwards and forwards. You can do that. I'm just doing a demonstration. So they both could be better, but they both are within the safety, and it's not going to damage the radio. So we're going to get the Bannerton Route 66 out, switch your box, we'll switch between the aerials, and let's see how it goes. Right, so we've got Allen's battery, we've got Allen's switcher box, and the grey Patchley's Allen's. I've got the horizontal aerial on the left on position A, and I've got the vertical aerial on position B. We've noticed an interesting phenomena. Somebody was coming through clearer on the horizontal area but less pounds than on the vertical, because it was eliminating the noise. I'd never thought of that before, because I've never done this like this, because it goes against the theory. And we know somebody not a million miles away at 10 miles up the road, he'll know who it is, David, who suffers from noise, and this may be his solution as well. So let's see what we do. We're going to go to channel 1 because the SWR is better on channel 1 for both aerials. So here goes. Right, so here we are finally recording, and Tango 21 test.
Tango 21 test.
Yep, fine, loud and clear.
Yeah, I've got some SSB on this channel.
Right, knock it up one.
Right, you there.
Yeah, Roger, I'm here.
Roger that. Right, I'll start recording then shortly. I'll let these people cross the road with the dog and the cat.
Roger, diddly dodger. And I'm starting off on the horizontal aerial, and then when we get down to scratchy corner I'll switch and we'll do it that way. Oh, I'm getting SSB.
It's still got some SSB on there.
Knock it up another one. Tango 21.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, Roger, try this one.
The audio doesn't sound great. I don't know what that's down. Might be because I'm so close to you and it's horizontal.
Anyway, it's not a faulty set, so there we are. Oh, remember these sets of over compress on when you initially on the voice peaks they clip over.
Yeah, it just dawned on me that. Right, we've passed the house. We're now recording.
Excellent, off we go. We're not testing a radio, we're testing the horizontal and vertical homemade aerials, which have cost little more than the dipole centres from Moonraker.
Yep, roger that. Right, we're coming up to the end of the lane.
Roger, got you at the end of the lane.
Roger. Right, we're now passing Ancaster Service Station, 143.9, 145.9. Over.
Yep, we may as well do that bit still. Roger, so that's 2/3 of a mile.
Roger. Right, we're now square wheeled at Ancaster Crossroads.
Roger, got you square wheeled at Ancaster Crossroads.
Yep, roger that. Now going through Ancaster Crossroads.
Roger, diddly dodger.
It's already quite noisy on that.
Yes, I've noticed.
Right, we're now passing the top of the hill as we'll go down in towards Wilsford. Over.
Roger, I'm going to try and keep on the horizontal aerial, and then we'll switch over when I hear you and we do the initial contact at Scratchy Corner.
Roger.
I'm being really risky.
Yeah, I'm not sure you will hear me, but there you go. Tango 21 to Mississippi. We're now going round Scratchy Corner, Wilsford. Over.
Roger, got you going round Scratchy Corner loud and clear on the horizontal aerial. Now I'm going to switch over. Tango 21 on the vertical aerial, got you round Scratchy Corner.
Yep, roger that. Well, you don't sound any different to me, if anything, slightly worse.
Well, there you go. Just goes to show, doesn't it? I'm actually picking up better with the horizontal aerial as well. Over. But that can be because the signal's bouncing around on the bottom of that hill.
Yes, the horizontal's in more free space, whereas the dipole's up against a brick wall, as it were.
Yeah, now you've come up, they're equal over.
Roger that.
So I'm getting more noise on the vertical one, as you'd expect.
Tango 21 from Mississippi, now going over Wilsford Level Crossing. Over.
Roger, got you going over Wilsford Level Crossing. This is the horizontal aerial. I'll switch over to the other one. Tango 21 got you over Wilsford Level Crossing on the vertical aerial. Over.
Still better on the horizontal to me.
Yep, Roger on that, same applies.
Tango 21 from Mississippi, now
Tango 21 got you at the Kelby turn on the horizontal aerial. Tango 21 got you at the Kelby turn on the vertical aerial. Over. Say that again, I just had to turn the squelch down.
Yeah, I've got the 12 right down. I'm struggling to hear you.
Right, I'm on the vertical aerial. Are you hearing me on that?
Yes, I've got right on the vertical area.
Yeah, Roger, that's the vertical aerial. I'll stay on the vertical one then. Tango 21 at the Grayleys turn on the vertical aerial, Tango 21, Grayleys turn on the horizontal aerial, over. Tango 21, copy. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, it looks like you're at the 5 mile point. I'm on the vertical aerial. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, I think I've got you back again. I take it you've moved away from the 5 mile point, over. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy. Tango 21, Mr. Chippy, got you going over raw speed level crossing on the vertical aerial, over. Tango 21, you should be past that petrol station now. I don't know whether you can copy me, over. Right, well, I've just about got you back. I'm on the vertical aerial, over. Vertical, V for vertical. Yeah, just going to switch to the horizontal. Do you copy me on the horizontal one, over? No, you don't seem to be copying me on the horizontal one at all, as expected, over. Excellent. Are you round that roundabout yet? Excellent. Right, well, that concludes the test, thank you. And we do have two-way conversation at 6 miles on the vertical, over. Just go again, I didn't get that. Yeah, just not quite got you well enough to understand what you're saying, over. Right, you do that. Go to Wilsford Level Crossing and park up, over. Are you about there? 10-4.
Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now it's Wilford Level Crossing lay-by, over.
Right, so you're 3 miles away and it's S7.5, S8, somewhere around there. I'm on the vertical aerial, over.
Roger, let me put the other camera on and then we can have a recording of it.
Roger, I'll switch to low power as well to give us that opportunity.
Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now it's Wilford Level Crossing lay-by, over.
Roger, so I've got you 3 miles away, Wilsford Level Crossing. I'm on the vertical aerial. I'm going to switch to low power. At the moment you're giving me an S8. 54321, low power, 400 milliwatts, back to 4 watts, over.
Yep, Roger, you give me about an S6 and there's no change with low power, it's still S6, but of course more noise.
Right, here goes, I'm going to change over to the other aerial, horizontal. Here goes on the horizontal aerial, over.
Yep, Roger, go ahead.
Right, we're testing the horizontal area, we're at 4 watts, 54321 to low power, now on to 400 milliwatts, and back to 4 watts. Back to 4 watts, over.
Yeah, Roger that, well you were S6 at full power, S6 at low power. The only difference I noticed that some interference came across and wiped you out on low power, but that could be because you're horizontal, I don't know.
Right, I'm going to do something different now. We're going to go back to channel 31 like we usually live on over.
Roger that, off 31.
Tango 21, Mr. Chippy.
Tango 21, go ahead.
Right, I'll do exactly the same again on 31. The SWR is between 2.5 and 3 to 1. 2.5, 2.8, somewhere around there on both the aerials over.
Yep, roger that.
Right, so we're on the horizontal aerial, so 54321 onto low power, 400 milliwatts, 400 milliwatts, and then back to 4 watts over.
Yep, roger. You were S6 on full power, and you did drop this time to probably S4 on low power.
Now the theory here is that there's less interference on the higher channels because they're out of the way of the more out of the way of the naughty brigade. So we're going to change it over to the other aerial. So I'm now on the vertical aerial, doing the 4 watts on channel 31, drop to low power. We're on low power 400 milliwatts, low power 400 milliwatts, back to 4 watts. There we are, back at 4 watts over.
Yep, roger. The results are exactly the same as the horizontal over.
Yes, now this time we've got about 18% loss, so as I say, viewers can do better than this because I just shoved them up and they were within safety limits, and that's how I wanted to do the test. So it was really easy to replicate for people with few tools.
Yep, roger that.
Right, that concludes the test, thank you.
Roger that, 10-10.
10-10. Well, that was a bit of fun. We're going to edit the two together. This'll, instead of us going backwards and forwards, just bear with the video, it'll run through again with Mr. Chippy's footage. And there we go. So again, thank you to Alan for providing the Bannerton Route 66 and the switch box, which is a nice switch box, die-cast one, and of course the battery. So there we are.
Right, we're now passing the top of the hill as we go down in towards Wilsford. Over.
Roger, I'm going to try and keep on the horizontal aerial, and then we'll switch over when I hear you and we do the initial contact at Scratchy Corner.
Roger. Yeah, I'm not sure you will hear me, but there you go. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy. We're now going round Scratchy Corner, Wilsford. Over.
Roger, got you going round Scratchy Corner, loud and clear on the horizontal aerial. Now I'm going to switch over. And the 21 on the vertical aerial, got you round Scratchy Corner.
Yep, roger that. Well, you don't sound any different to me, if anything slightly worse.
And there you go, just goes to show, doesn't it?
It does.
Picking up better with the horizontal aerial as well.
Yeah, roger that.
That's a bit of signals bouncing around on the bottom of that hill.
Yes, and the horizontal's in more free space, whereas the dipole's up against a brick wall, as it were.
Yeah, now you come up, they're equal over.
Roger that. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now going over Wilsford level crossing. Over.
The horizontal aerial, I'll push over to the one.
Yeah, you're still better on the horizontal to me.
Roger on that, then 5.
Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now passing the Kelby turn. Over. Tango Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, not receiving a well at all. Yeah, I've got the squelch right down. I'm struggling to hear you. Yes, I got that. You're on the vertical aerial. Roger that. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy. We're now passing the Grayleys turn. Over. Yep, roger that. Yeah, I think you said you're on the vertical aerial. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now at the 5 mile point. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, 5 mile point. Yeah, I think that was you, Tango, go ahead. Roger, I think I just got that. You said 5 mile point vertical aerial, over. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy. You may be on the horizontal now, I don't know. Tango 21, go ahead. No, I'm struggling. I think we'll call it at that and I'll move on to the next bit. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, we're on the move again. Tango 21, are you receiving? Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, are you receiving? Yeah, I'm just approaching the level crossing, over. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, we're now going over Rollsby level crossing, over. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy. Yeah, past the petrol station, coming up to the roundabout, over. Did you say you're on the vertical or horizontal, over? I think you said vertical. Vertical, over, yeah? Yeah, I'm receiving you now.
around that roundabout, yeah?
I am, yes, coming back up to the petrol station. Over. I'm just thinking, do you want me to go to Wilsford lay-by and park up so I'm in the same position and try the different aerials? Yep, go ahead, Tango 21. I'm just saying I could go to Wilsford level crossing lay-by, so I'm stationary and try. You can see then what the figures are, because it didn't work at the 5 mile point pretty much at all. Yep, roger that, Wilsford level crossing.
Are you out there?
Yeah, just pulling into the lay-by now. Tango 21 from Mr. Chippy, now at Wilsford level crossing lay-by. Over.
Yes, it's 23 miles away. Wilson level crossing. I'm on the vertical aerial. I'm going to switch to low power. There's a moment it gives me an F8. 54321. Low power, 400 milliwatts. 400 milliwatts. Back to 4 watts over.
Yep, Roger, you give me about an S6 and there was no change with low power, still S6, but of course more noise.
Right, here goes, I'm going to change over to the horizontal. Here goes on the horizontal aerial over.
Yep, Roger, go ahead.
Right, we're testing the horizontal area, we're at 4 watts. 54321 to low power, down to 400 watts, 400 milliwatts, back to 4 watts. Back to 4 watts over.
Yeah, Roger that. Well, you were S6 at full power and S6 at low power. The only difference I noticed that some interference came across and wiped you out on low power, but that could be because you're horizontal. I don't know.
Right, I'm going to do something different now. We're going to go back to channel 31, like we usually live on over.
Roger that. Off to 31.
Well, Mr. Chippy.
Tango 21, go ahead.
Right, we're exactly the same again on 31. The XBR is between 2.5 and 3 to 1. 2.5, 2.8, somewhere around there on both the aerials.
Yep, roger that.
Right, so we're on the horizontal aerial, so 54321 on 400 milliwatts, and then back to 4 watts over.
Yep, Roger, you were S6 on full power, and you did drop this time to probably S4 on low power.
Well, the theory here is that there's like interference on the higher channels because they're out of the way of the naughty brigade. So we're going to change it over to the other aerial. So now on the vertical aerial, doing the 4 watts on channel 31, drop to low power. Well, low power 400 milliwatts, low power 400 milliwatts, back to 4 watts. There we are, back at 4 watts over.
Yep, Roger, the results are exactly the same as the horizontal over.
Yes, now this time we've got about 18% loss, so I'd say viewers can do better than this because I just shoved them up and do it within safety limits, and that's how I wanted to do the test. So it was really easy to replicate for people who've seen tools.
Yep, roger that.
Right, that concludes the test, thank you.
Roger that, 10-10.
So the conclusion to this is this worked well for 4 miles, and it worked well for 4 miles, well, worked very well for 3 miles, and the horizontal aerial surprisingly worked better around Scratchy Corner, and that will be because we're picking up less interference at this end, and because he's the wrong side of a hill, the aerial's broadside into that hill, and the signal's going to get pushed around all over the place. Now we know about this phenomena, but I've never thought of trying doing CB horizontally, but for people with a lot of local interference it might work for you, especially if you can switch between a vertical and a horizontal aerial. So after we got past 4 miles, certainly well 3.5 miles, the vertical aerial was the only one we could really copy on. which is how it should be. And then that little test at the end at Wylsford level crossing, dropping between powers, and then going up to channel 31, so we've got it with quite a high SWR at 2.8 to 1, which you could improve dramatically by chopping a bit off the aerials. But as I said, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make it really easy for people with the minimum amount of tools. So thank you for watching, and another little silly aerial job from Tango Towers.